circles the graves of the damned souls. Bryan morphs into fire, demon sword and flames. Hell lava licks the wounds of my insanity. My insanity.
So? Rock band music. Okay, I'll do the feature. What's your angle?
Hi! Welcome to Venture Bros Podcast. I'm your host, as always, Bryan Dressel. With me, as always, is Nick, Apricot, Friedemann.
I love dried apricots.
But last time you said, don't call me an apricot.
Oh, did I? You know what? I was a liar.
Yeah.
Fair enough. As long as you're honest about it. That's all that really matters.
No
Dried
problem.
apricots are good and good for you.
Yeah, also true. And that was the voice of Graham Plum Mason.
I'm plumb out of puns.
That was funny. I apologize in advance, everybody, today. I am feeling a little under the weather, so my voice might sound a little funky from time to time. And I might do that. But I'm trying to cut all those out as much as I can.
Please do.
Yeah.
Nah, leave them in.
They're flavoring the show, right?
Yeah.
Please don't say flavor.
They're seasoning the show.
That's worse somehow.
You know, the weirdest thing that you can think of is, that tastes good. Isn't that strange?
Nope.
Wait, are you saying like your snot tastes good?
Yeah.
Oh, that is gross.
That's not a good thing to say.
Yeah, I wasn't. I was saying that when you smell something, you say that tastes good. It's funny. But then you said your snot tastes good, and that's way funnier than what I was thinking. So I just went with it.
Oh, I see. I see.
Tears of a Sea Cow is what we're talking about today.
Woo!
Woo! This is an episode, in my opinion, that starts real strong, and then is kind of okay the rest of the way through. But starts amazing.
Yeah.
But we'll get into all of that. I do believe it is my turn after Nick has gone and Graham has gone to do the breakdown. So I will do what I can. AKA, wow, AKE? How about that? AKA known as reading Brok's breakdown.
Hooray.
So thank you, Brok, again. Prohibited from antagonizing Dr. Venture. Sweet mother of God. The Monarch has murdered his replacement arch nemesis. Oh my God. My throat is dying. And is losing interest in supervillainy. He and henchmen 21 and 24 decide to relive old times by conducting an unauthorized raid on the Venture compound. They are discovered by Hank, Dean, and Dermot, and have to bribe their way out of being reported to Dr. and Mrs. the Monarch. Out of being reported, this is the best we've ever had. Dr. and Mrs. the Monarch arranges for the Monarch's next archenemy to be Jonas Venture Jr. As a close substitute for Dr. Venture. That's essentially everything that happens in the episode, read as poorly as possible by yours truly. I did
By
warn
yours
you.
truly. I think I've done worse. Even reading the notes once. Or twice. Or every time I've done it.
Mine would have been good if I wasn't sick. I'm just going to keep holding to that.
Yeah. Yeah.
I'm not that sick, or I would have canceled today, so maybe it's not as good of an excuse as I was hoping it would be. So thoughts around the table. What do you guys think?
I think you hit the nail on the head, to be honest, as far
Yeah.
as the opening I remember and the ending I remember, and I remember almost nothing in the middle.
I think the only reason why I remember the middle a little bit is because I really love Hank and Dermot.
Yes, I remember the bits like Helper's beat, just never ending, which I have to say somebody did an amazing job creating that beat, because at first you're like, it wouldn't be that annoying, and then by the second scene that you're in, you're like, I can't stand this. This is immediately too much. But I don't, nothing else stood out from when we got to this episode. I remembered the cold open, and I remembered the ending, and the middle part I was completely forgot.
Yeah, I could.
Yep.
Yeah. I don't think you're wrong. Graham, what about you?
Yeah, pretty much the same. I do love this episode, and I do love that from the last two that were kind of that this one jumps in so strong.
Yeah.
Yeah, and I think, like, because we mentioned a couple times in the last 2 weeks that, like, these were the two bad episodes, and it gets stronger after here. And I think, by comparison to the other two, this episode, even with everything I've forgotten about it, is stronger than both of them. But
Yes.
I think because the beginning and the end are so strong, it just outpaces the last 2 weeks entirely.
Yeah. And it's funny because, like, I'm saying I don't remember, but, like, I really enjoyed rewatching this episode. It's just that for whatever reason, the two things that stood out for me are basically the bookends, and everything in the middle I just was pleasantly surprised by.
Yeah.
Yeah. Let's talk a little bit about those bookends.
Okay.
Because it's weird also that we'll probably get into it a little bit more next week, but like this one ends sort of on a cliffhanger that then gets forgotten for a week.
Yeah.
Yeah. I was wondering about that, if this is another one of those like mismatched weeks to where they got forced into releasing something before they wanted to, or after they wanted to, or what have you.
Personally, I think it's just that this is why I think we'll talk about it more next week. The Now Museum, Now You Don't. There's no good place to shove that episode. So I think they just kind of shoved it somewhere.
Yeah, and I think that it's starting we'll talk about just this week's episode, but I do think that they have a weird thing where they're starting to play with time, which ends up coming up more and more and more as the show goes on.
Yeah.
Which is, we're gonna do. So the X-Files is really popular for doing like a Monster of the Week episode and then like a series mythology episode. And I think that this episode you could classify as like a Venture Brothers mythology episode, and the Now Museum is like a Monster of the Week.
Yeah.
So you end up with this weird thing where it's like, well, we don't really have a place to put this Monster of the Week because it doesn't really fit into especially a lot of the stuff that we've been talking about. And we just had 2 Monster of the Week episodes basically, so let's do a mythology episode, and then this Monster of the Week one can actually fit thematically in here even though it doesn't continue where the next one left off.
It could be that, or it could just be that maybe the way they're playing with the time is that this episode and the front half of the next episode take place at the same time. But no, That doesn't work. Not with the boys.
No.
You're
right. It doesn't. It doesn't.
Never mind. I was hoping for something to work there, but nope.
Yeah.
Nope.
Well, this episode is mostly about kind of like what we start to really enjoy, I think the three of us, which is like the inner workings of the guild, which was hinted at the end of season 1, and now we're starting to see more and more and more of, which somehow they make like guild bylaws interesting.
Yeah, I mean, and this one really kicks off with the beginning of this, because if the goal of being the arch nemesis isn't to eventually either kill or destroy your rival, then what's the point?
Yes.
Just continued arching.
Yeah.
Just to be a thorn in this side. Let's go take a shit in his pool. That type of stuff. Forever.
Which the Monarch's usually really good about. And then when he gets anybody who isn't Dr. Venture, he just murders them?
Because he's bored. It's boring. I'm bored now. Because he hates so passionately. He has the most hate.
But why?
Well, because no one can hate as much as he can.
I think that what it is like Dr. Venture and the Monarch have like an obviously very weird relationship, but I think the Monarch he doesn't ever really try and kill. There are a few times where he quote unquote tries to kill Dr. Venture, but like either it doesn't work out or he kind of gets cold feet or whatever ends up happening. But he never
especially
gets
later on.
Yeah. It never gets to the point where he's like got a gun in Dr. Venture's face and then pulls the trigger, which is what happens at the end of this cold open with Dr. Dugong. But
Dugong,
which is one of my favorite random like voices in the show.
It's so it's like half Jimmy Stewart, half a guy with the flu.
Exactly. But he never really gets to that point, and I think it's because he kind of enjoys like messing up Dr. Venture's life more than he wants to end Dr. Venture's life. And I think that Graham's right is that he's bored by Dr. Dugong. Like, everything Dr. Dugong does annoys him. The PA that feels like it's over his head at all times is like...
it's so loud!
That's like the kind of stuff that I do feel like he would be like, I just want to end this. Like, there's nothing about this. Nothing about this is enjoyable, so that's it.
And Mr. Roboto.
Oh, yeah. Exactly.
Your leftover props from a Styx music video.
You know what's really crazy about this cold open that just occurred to me?
What's
that in this situation, we're looking at the Monarch, and we're like, he is off the rails, but we're looking at the Moppets and going, they're actually pretty reserved.
Yeah.
They are.
Yeah, the Moppets are they've really fallen in line with Dr. Mrs. the Monarch. Like, they're doing exactly what she needs them to do.
Yeah.
And, they're still creepy and horrifying, but they're still...
Yep. Especially when she needs to change into her costume.
Oh my god. This is like peak...
We could just close our eyes.
Like,
they're the worst.
They're
so gross.
That is probably my favorite moment for them beyond the buddy system. Everything the buddy system's better than everything else, but outside of the buddy system, this is probably my favorite moment for them. Just the at your body, your naked body.
Yeah,
oh God. Like, why does she keep them around?
It's a great question.
I mean, they are effective.
They really are.
That's true. I mean, they did motivate everyone to rebuild the cocoon in like an afternoon. Like, they are very good at their jobs.
It's true.
So never mind. Now, I get why she keeps them around. I mean, I wouldn't. They're creepy as hell, but whatever.
Yeah.
Let's talk a little bit of B story with Hank and Dean and Dermot. This is still the point in the show where I feel like a lot of people didn't really like Dermot, and I still don't think a lot of people do like Dermot. I like Dermot. I think he's hysterical.
I love Dermot.
I think he's stupid, annoying, and gross, and terrible, but entertaining to watch.
He's like that friend to where
It's
you're
a hell
like,
of a roller coaster there, Graham.
I know, right? He's like that friend that you haven't seen in a while, and then when you hang out with him again, you're like, right, this is why I don't hang out with him.
Yeah, absolutely. He's that guy who's like, when he's in his 30s, he's still this guy.
100%.
Yeah.
He's not 30.
But I do like that this is the one where they first hint at, you're not Brock's kid.
Yeah.
Like, it's played off as a joke, but he's not Brock's kid. Like, would you believe I'm Brock Sampson's long-lost son? If you were, I wouldn't have caught you so easily. Damn good point.
Yeah.
Like,
very good point.
Like, 24 is spot on.
Yeah.
The one thing that he's right about in this whole episode.
24?
Yeah. He doesn't know how anything works in this episode.
No,
and
that's
it's like
21 doesn't know how anything works.
Damn it, that's
Yeah.
right. Why do I always confuse them?
I don't know.
Oh God.
21
and I like
is-
this show.
Yeah. 21 has a frustrating afternoon.
Yeah.
Yes, he does.
I do love it though. Like, I love that it's a running theme that he is a horrid henchman, especially knowing that he becomes not only the best henchman, but the only one left. Like, he is the quintessential henchman after a while.
Yeah.
Right.
Like, it takes him a little bit to get there. And this is like the peak of, oh, he is a terrible henchman.
Well,
For sure.
he tries,
Oh, yeah, he's definitely got the guts for it, and he's got the motivation, but he's just bad at his job.
Yeah. He has like an A in enthusiasm, and then everything else is just D+ at best.
Yeah, totally. At least for now. Like, he does get much better.
He gets an
Oh,
A+
yeah.
in survivability too. I think we have to at least acknowledge that.
That's
That's
yes.
another thing they bring up. Like, that's another.
We're like main characters. Don't push it.
Sorry, 24. He just jinxed you. Spoilers.
Spoilers indeed.
So okay, it's just coming.
I know.
It's just on the horizon, and I'm so sad about it.
Do you think this is where they... Okay, so here's it. Okay, no, we can't talk about it. Never mind. I'll wait until later, but I'll just keep this note in mind for later. Just cut this out.
Now I'm definitely not cutting that out. I'm just very confused.
God, two horrible, embarrassing moments in a row. Confusing 21 and 24, and then being like,
I have a great question.
No, I'm
Okay.
not gonna say.
I even thought about the thing that you said to remind me, which is just remember 2-1-21, and I was like, oh yeah, and I wrote it down, and I was like, yeah, 2-1-24. Let's keep this going. I was like, oh my god.
Yeah, the best thing about 2-10-24 is that it rhymes.
Exactly.
What have we missed? We haven't really talked much about Shallow Gravy. This is the first real appearance
Yeah.
before they even named Shallow Gravy.
And Viceroy.
And Viceroy. Good old Viceroy.
Yeah, I mean, talking about, Dean and his newspaper.
Oh.
And how
Yes.
the only readers are like, I'll let you know that my readers go well into the teens.
But that brings up a wonderful, wonderful debate of well into the teens. What does that mean? Does that mean like 14?
13. I think it means 13.
Well, 13
Yes.
is just the teens. If he's saying well
Yeah.
into the teens, I imagine he'd round up from 14.
I agree.
So
Okay, all right.
if we're at 14,
Okay,
who
wait,
the
who are
hell
his-
are the
yes.
14?
Okay, well we know it's at least one of 21 and 24. My guess would be it has to be 21.
Yeah. So
Well,
21.
maybe not
we know.
both.
Yeah.
Definitely
Monarch.
the Monarch. Brok for sure.
Yep.
Yeah. Dean.
Dean and
Dean would definitely
Dermot.
count himself.
Yeah.
No, Dermot would not be there. Hank would be.
No.
Hank, well, yes, but you don't think Dermot?
No way.
No.
Okay, so that's 5. Where I
in
think
there.
I think it's a safe bet to say not Rusty.
Right.
Rusty
No.
might. He might get the delivery and just throw it in the trash.
No. I don't even
think
think he
that's
cares
even-
that much.
Exactly.
Yeah. No, you're right.
Billy Quizboy.
Billy Quizboy for sure. I think White because
No way.
well,
Not
no, they
White.
live together.
Yeah.
You're right.
They would just-
Why bother?
Yeah.
Right.
Orpheus.
Orpheus definitely.
Sure. Maybe
the
the whole triad,
Alchemist.
actually.
I
Yeah, the
was
whole
gonna say
triad.
the whole triad. I think you're right.
You think Jefferson Twilight reads Dean Venture's newspaper?
Yes.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
He
Absolutely.
might not read it, but he'd still, receive it at least.
Okay, sure. All right. Yeah, I'll give you that.
So that brings us to 8.
And then possibly Old Team Venture would bring you up to 13.
But not Colonel Gentleman.
No.
Maybe. Oh, it's not Action Man, but his wife. I think is definitely a reader.
Oh, yeah.
Okay.
Oh my God, we're really trying to get to 10. This is.
No, if you do all of, if you do the old Venture team.
Oh, who's
whole
the
team,
merman? Oh yeah, Kato definitely. You're right. That gets to 10, and then the merman definitely gets it to 11.
Yeah. I'm not sure if I can get another 3.
Because who else would they know? Triana doesn't read it.
No.
Neither does Triana's friend, who we can never remember the name of.
Definitely not her.
Phantom Limb is quote unquote dead at this point.
And he wouldn't read it anyways.
Yeah.
The twins.
No.
What? Come on.
No. They just met him, and then it went poorly. They tried to rape him. It didn't go well. They're not reading his paper.
I don't know.
No, I'm not giving you the twins. They barely knew him. I would say,
Their mother.
Oh, he definitely wouldn't read it, but he would support the family. Jonas Venture Jr.
Yes, you're 100% right.
Yeah.
Jonas Venture Jr. definitely gets one, so that's 12.
Yep.
I think that's it, honestly. I think we might have maxed out at 12. Oh, you know what? I'll get us to 13. Somebody definitely gets one that somebody else signed them up for as a joke. It gets mailed to somebody and they're like, "Why?"
Phantom Limb.
Yeah.
Exactly.
I can see the Monarchs signing up Phantom Limb for Deanie
Yes.
B's newspaper.
Oh, yes.
Yes.
All right, yeah, I'd say that could be a pretty good reading list. I wonder, if anybody out there listening thinks we're wrong or wants to add that list, if you can get us up well into the teens of people that we believe you would be reading this paper, and I will totally say you're wrong if you're wrong. athpodcast@gmail.com, or tweet at us, or find us, or send it to Facebook, or comment on the episode on the ATH Pod website. I want to hear if you think you got somebody else.
I'd actually say I'd have another one. Sergeant Hatred.
Oh, yes. 100%.
Yeah, I'd say so.
All right, I've got a weird question because I became obsessed with this newspaper as a concept.
Yep.
Do you think within the top 5 days of the Monarch's life that he found out that Dean had a newspaper, do you think that ranks in the top 5?
I wouldn't say top 5. I would
top
say
10?
Of the year? Probably. Of his life? No.
See, I feel like it would be because he takes so much joy in reading this newspaper that I do feel like he loves it. Like, there's so much joy in laughing at how dumb Dean is that I think that there's just something about it that I'm like, he loves this. He looks forward to this day every week.
I mean, I would agree with that. I especially just love that he's like, oh, he answered my question.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah,
he calls himself the Viceroy. Oh, it's so good.
Well, no, he calls himself like Rob something.
Oh, I thought
21.
that he was the Viceroy.
No, Gary's the Viceroy.
I understand.
21 is Viceroy.
Yeah.
What a fucking dunce.
I don't know. It sounds like that Viceroy guy may feel like he's dying inside.
Oh, God.
And this is kind of going back to what we said earlier. Like, a lot of this episode might be forgettable, but man, when you're in it, it is a good one.
Exactly.
Yeah. I really enjoy this episode. And this does have, some history.
Yeah.
That comes up later.
For sure.
Yeah, we don't always read them, but Brok always goes through a lot of work of telling us how these episodes tie into the whole series. We usually bring them up if they're pertinent to what we're talking about, but they're not always. This one, there's some really kind of fun stuff that I really want to bring up. Specifically, I'm hoping that this fan theory that Brok rustled up is true. In Season 6, the episode Rhapsody in Blue, Dr. Venture has pamphlets on the dangers of chlamydia that he carries in his wallet, suggesting that he, too, had sex with Gardo after the Monarch. Which I think is...
I love that.
I love it so much. I really hope that was intended.
Okay, wait. Can I add to this fan theory?
Mm-hmm.
Do you think those pamphlets, quote-unquote, came from Dean? As a way to circumvent what happens at the end in order to try and warn his father.
Holy shit, I hope so.
This seems like the most Dean answer to this whole thing.
Yeah.
Oh, that so is a Dean thing to do. Like, even if Rusty never had sex with the robot, that would be Dean's way of protecting his father.
Exactly.
Yeah. Because he couldn't tell him about it, obviously. He doesn't want to complete his supervillain training.
Exactly. Now, here's another thing. Does this poke holes in our theory that Rusty is not a reader of the newspaper?
I don't know.
If it's well into the teens, 15.
It could be. It gets 15. Around.
Yeah.
It does. Yeah.
I don't know. I'm really obsessed with this newspaper. I really want to read it every day.
Oh my god. If that was a daily newspaper, if they actually put this paper out, I'd read it all the time.
Oh, it's so good. I think this season, I was going to say, is I think they figure out what to do with Dean.
Yeah. Well, it's kind of, we mentioned it, I don't remember. Oh, it was during the Jungle episode, I'm forgetting the name of right now.
Dr. Quinn.
Yes, thank you. It was that one where they start figuring out that the boys are not necessarily strongest together as characters. They might be, in the world of the show stronger together, but they're far more interesting separated.
Yes. Especially as they start to develop their own interests, which what I actually really like about this is that Hank is so headstrong and kind of he likes what he likes and he knows what he likes. And it, to me, reads as Dean doesn't know what he wants to do, because I think he's realizing that he can't be a boy adventurer anymore, and I don't think he wants to follow in his dad's footsteps necessarily at this point. So what do I do?
Yeah.
So he's trying out, being in the newspaper business. He's trying out doing, and it's I think that he's trying to figure out what it is that he wants to do.
I'm doing science. Putting water on little dinosaurs and making them get bitter is not good science. That hurt.
Yeah.
The best thing about that hurt because he was 100% on point.
Yes. He read him like a book.
Oh yeah. Yeah, there was absolutely no chance that Hank was wrong.
No.
What is there anything that we've missed in this episode? The one thing we didn't really talk about, and because it's not really like a huge thing in the episode, it's a moment, but this is the first time where Dr. Miss and the Monarch really runs the show on her own.
Yeah.
Because when she has to go get the Monarch back, she has to get them there, and she does it well.
Yeah. Better than him.
Well, that's not hard to do.
That's true. And I think they even set that up at the beginning because she's basically running the show. She's the one she's the one giving those like goofy one-liners. She's the one who's like trying to push the whole operation forward, and he's just like dragging his feet until she's like, pretend he's Dr. Venture, and then he kills him.
You abandoned me!
Oh, so good.
Oh no.
God damn it, that's so great. I think that's kind of everything, though, right?
Yeah.
I think so.
The septic tank comment.
Oh, yeah, that just came back. God, what does that smell? Is it septic tank? That's the smell of hatred.
Which I think we were talking about before. Was like whether it was the actual the remaining smell from the rocket of poo falling over, or if the septic tank is actually close to the surface. Because the lasers actually set off the septic tank in this episode, so...
Oh, I guess that's true. I still think it's the rocket, though. I think that's supposed to be a nod, because that was a gargantuan rocket full of poo.
It's true.
And there's only helper out there cleaning up, as we decided last week. So I have to imagine it's still going to smell like poo for a while.
Yeah. That's a lot of poo.
Yeah. Oh, here's another thing we forgot. Hank finding out that he's quote-unquote immortal.
Oh, yeah.
Which is very Hank.
Oh, yeah. Like the Highlander?
Like the Highlander? Yes. I am the one!
What a weird moment.
Did we ever experience Hank figuring out he's not immortal? I don't think so, right?
I think he probably figures it out over time, but I mean, let's be honest, in his many lifetimes, this is not the first time he's thought he's immortal. We did watch him in a montage jump off of a roof in a Batman costume with an umbrella.
I am the bat.
It's a fair point.
I don't think so, though.
No, I don't think so. I think he just...
I mean... I think at the end of season 7, he's figuring out that he is, his own thing. But yeah, not immortal.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, that makes sense. All right, let's move into funniest moments. I can go first. Mine is pretty simple. I mentioned it earlier. This is my favorite cold open of the season, I believe. I'd have to go back and watch all of them again. But this is the one I always remember because just pretend he's Dr. Venture, and then just the speech he gives, followed with the gunshot, and then the smash cut to the title. It's just brilliant, and it just makes me laugh. And it's followed up by the "I have cuttlefish." And just
give us the cuddle. I don't care.
the cuttlefish. I have cuttlefish, and it's just so everything with Dugard, dude. It's so fucking funny, and it's just the
great.
voice and the design and just all of it. But really, just the "You abandoned me." It's
You
so
abandoned
good.
my hatred.
Oh, it's some good shit. That and my close second, if none of you guys take it, I will mention after you. But you guys can go first.
Mine was, I have cuttlefish, in response to, you have abandoned my hatred. And it's just a tight shot of his face, and he's just like, I don't know what to do. I have cuttlefish? Like, it's...
I have cuttlefish.
Because what I love is that he's sticking to the rules. Like,
Yeah.
he's like, this is the way this is supposed to go. Things have gone off the rails.
Which, I mean, cuttlefish can be creepy, you know?
Sure.
So,
Yeah.
but he could have used them, but
I have
Monarch just
cuttlefish.
didn't take him up.
It's just so sad.
Oh, it's great.
Graham, what about you?
Mine is the moment when the Monarch 21 and 24 decide to go to the Venture compound, and they, the Monarch and 21 dive down the tunnel, and 24 takes the stairs, and then they fly through the tunnel and land on the top of the car. You're like, what the fuck? Who put the top up? 24 goes, you'll thank me later. It's going to rain.
His logic is so flawed.
And it doesn't rain. And then they do the chitty chitty bang bang thing, fly away.
A, it doesn't rain. B, he could have put the top up after they landed in the car. Like, so flawed.
But just it's going to rain, just cracks me up every fucking time I watch this.
That's me with, why did you do that? I don't know. But that's a spoiler for later. Just specifically, I don't know. It's just so good. That totally just wiped out my second favorite moment from this episode, and that's really frustrating because I loved that moment.
Sorry.
Damn you, season finale, and your wonderful, wonderful moment. Let's move into plugs, and if I remember it, I'll just interrupt plugs with what it was. For me, listen to After the Hype every Thursday. Read our articles Wednesdays and Fridays from people at After the Hype and from Matt Dykes, also a new member of After the Hype. And then be sure to listen to our other shows. Samwise, the advice podcast. We have Demon Days starting soon, the real-time or tabletop strategy. I don't remember how John pitches it, but it's going to be good. And a Dogs podcast by Emily. So lots and lots of shows to listen to coming up very, very soon. That's it for me, though. Nick, Graham, anything to plug?
No.
Nope.
Between 0 and 0.
Ah! I remembered it! So the part that was the funniest is if you were Brock's son, I wouldn't have caught you so fast. Well, I would have ran faster, but I have a lighter up my ass. Now I believe you're Hank's friend.
That is an amazing part.
There it
I
is.
forgot about that.
I knew it.
Dermot in this. I'm trying to give you earth germs. I'm gonna kill you with my human cold.
I love Dermot so much.
He's such
I
an
can't.
idiot.
Okay, I can't quite remember why did he put the lighter up his ass. It's self-defense, right?
No, it's so when they go to
Yes.
probe him, they're gonna face full of fire.
That's it. Oh my fucking god.
Oh boy. Okay.
Amazing.
I'm really glad I remembered that because goddamn, I love that moment. I think we should say goodbye and thanks for listening. All right. So goodbye.
All right.
Thanks for listening.
And thanks for listening.
Bye.
Bye bye bye. Bye bye bye. Bye 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 bye.